Hello. Happy Thursday, everybody. Got a little song for you. Welcome to Deb's Bling and Things. Let's see what this new day brings. I'm sure loving what I do, and I'm hoping that you love it too. How is everybody? Are you wonderful? Are you special? Are you perfect? You bet your sweet potato pie you are. Welcome to my channel. Either Reborns of Harmony Hollow, where I show most of my dolls, and all my dolls actually at some point or another, and my Deb's Bling and Things, where I show some of my crafts that I'm doing. So at this current time, I post most of my stuff straight to the Reborns because my Bling and Thing really doesn't have many followers, and I want people to know I'm still doing stuff, and I go back and forth. So today it's going to be pretty much the Bling and Thing. But I will talk to you a little bit about my Reborns and what I'm doing with them. How do you like brown hair? So when I was just a child, back 100 years ago, I had really, really dark brown hair, almost jet black, and my eyes were really, really dark. And then I had the Italian unibrow to set everything off. But now that my hair is virtually stark white and looks like gosling fluff growing out of my head, I have fun with wigs. And so I thought I'd put this little girl on for you today. She does not have a name yet. If anyone comes up with a name, let me know. I'll use it. Got glasses so I can see, which is also a pleasant thing. So, a little update on what's been going on. I'm getting ready for a show that I'm going to be doing at Salem Fairgrounds in Oregon. And that's going to be on the 13th. It's, I'm sorry. I have allergies, terrible. And then I got this new dry mouth thing going on, so I'm always choking or coughing or doing some other wonderful thing. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday on the 13th, like I said, I'm going to be at the fairgrounds, and there's going to be a car show there, and half of the proceeds of everything brought in to that festival will go to the veterans, which I love that they do that. It's a really good organization, so I really like seeing some dollars go back to them. Please come on out. It's free to get in and $10 for parking, so if you know someplace close that you could go sit, you could just walk in and enjoy a car show and come to the expo building and look at some vendors' wares, and I will be there. This year I have 2 spots. One of them will have all my babies out for my Reborns, and the other side will be my Bling and Things. And a lot of the things that I'm blinging can be cross-referenced. So for instance, I bling brushes like these. This could be a baby brush, this could be the mommy brush. They could match, they could go separate, and I bling them in the back. So I bling those. I make beautiful little keychains, phone charms, and some of them have babies on them as well, and fluff, and some of them just have beads and charms, so very cool. And I make pens, and they'll be there. I'll show you a couple of my pens really quick so you get an idea of what I do. So here's a red one. Here's one of my blacks. Here's one of my golds. Here's one of my metallics. So I make pens, which are kind of a nice little unique gift. And everything is blinged. I found a I was trying to make pacifier ring holders that were bling, but they were too heavy, and they wouldn't stay in the baby's mouth. They wouldn't stay magnetized. They would just keep falling out because the beads were heavier than a lot of the light wood and the silicone pacifier chains that you get. So I'm going to come up with another way to do that. I don't know yet how I'm going to do it. I'll show you one of them that I made. So I tried this one, which I thought would just be so cute. But I either have to get bigger magnets to go inside the doll's mouths or something, but you wouldn't think this would be that heavy. But it is for the magnet, so I have to check and see, and then I'll be making pretty little pacifier clips as well. So I'll have one table that have all my bling and things, and then the other one that will have all my dolls. Another thing that I started making this year that I have fun with is so many people would like to get a doll or participate in the Reborn side, but the price point is just too high for them. So I figured, why not make something that somebody that's on a really tight budget can do? So I started making these little houses. They're little cardboard houses, and I decorate them with bling, windows, and stuff. And you see somebody peeking out the hole? Well, that's because inside of them, I have babies. I got little babies. Now, I did not make these babies, but for a price point of under 20 bucks, to get a little hand-decorated house and a little baby and a little scrunchie. I love these scrunchy things because they're the ones that feel really good, and then they come back to life in your hand, but they're not the slimy ones. I love these. So there's a baby and a toy and its own little house, and I'll be selling those as well. So somebody who has a child, let's say, who wants a $200 doll or a $150 doll, and the mother's saying, I don't feel that, could still get a baby for her baby. Little thing I figured might be kind of fun. So those are going to be some of the things on my bling and thing tables. I'll have my pens, and I'll have key rings, and I'll have my houses and my brushes. And I also just found, you know, the little holding devices that you can stick on the back of your phone, and then you can pop it out and hold them. Well, I'm going to be blinging a ton of those as well because I found a really good price of plain ones, and I could bling them up and sell those as well. Now, so that's pretty much the bling I'm working on. My babies, I got about 15, 20 of them ready to go. I have cuddle babies. I have full armature, not full limb babies. I have a couple of semi-reborns that I bought manufactured that I don't really care for, but I refinished them and I restuffed them and reweighted them, and I'll sell those as well for a discounted rate budget babies that people might want to use or play with. So there's going to be a little something there for everybody, which I like doing, because my whole deal when I did this was to give people babies that they could play with or bond with or love on or whatever the need is, because you'll find in this community the type of people that collect or purchase or gift dolls, the reasons are endless why someone might use one of these babies. I personally have experienced two different things. One, I've always liked dolls since I was a kid. I never collected them because I never had the means to collect them, but I always liked them. I always liked playing with baby dolls. I was probably one of the oldest people that I knew of, me and my friend Kathy. We played babies till we were 13 years old. Nobody knew about it, as it was a secret. We couldn't tell anyone because we would be frowned upon, you know. And if I was only the person I am today back when I was a kid, life would have been so much easier. I wouldn't have taken no nonsense from nobody. But I did, and so I didn't want anything to hinder my reputation of being semi-cool. I don't know. Let them know I played with dolls. That's a story for another day. So the people that collect these dolls, if they're ever with sadness or loneliness or companionship or comfort, these dolls really come in quite handy. My original plan was I wanted to make dolls and I wanted to put together nurseries and put them in assisted living facilities that specialized with dementia and Alzheimer's disease, because the amount of work that's been done on the benefits of having these lifelike babies, hyper-realistic babies with people in these facilities is wonderful. And back when I was a working person, I had a staffing agency, and I used to staff for probably close to all of the retirement centers and nursing homes, assisted living facilities, all of them here in the Willamette Valley. I had a lot of them that I worked with. So I knew of them. And I thought, well, you know, that's a way for me to get in and talk to somebody and see if I can sell this idea. And they all thought it was wonderful. But they were so cheap, they would not jump on the bandwagon and let me put a nursery together. And I would tell them, I'll put this under whatever price range you need. I don't work for anybody. This is when I had retired, the year before my son got sick, about 4 or 5 years ago. He's been gone a year. He was sick for 3 years, and I was just finishing up my last job. After my company closed, I worked for Goodwill, and I worked there for about 11 years as a employment specialist. So I still worked with a ton of these facilities. And I thought this would be a great segue for me to go from working to creating. I knew they had a budget because I used to book music also, and I used to book people to do, I'm pointing, like you can see where I'm pointing to. I'm pointing to other facilities. Anyway, I used to book duos and individuals that played acoustic guitars and sang and such, and I would book them through their activity director. So I knew they had a budget for such a thing, and I couldn't believe that when I gave them this presentation of what I could put together for them for really cheap, they didn't jump on it. I even formatted a plan to get the CNAs on board so they would learn how to interact with the dolls so they could help the people that were going through this time in their life. They could give them some direction on it. And I was going to go back in and take pictures of them and do holiday events and just put a whole plan together for pennies on the dollar. And one company said they would do it, and then they ghosted me. And they were big. They had 3 states that they worked with. And at that point in time, I said, you know what? If they can't do anything nice for their clients or patients or whatever they refer to people that are in these facilities as, I'll just donate them. So I donated about 20 dolls that I did myself. They were all handmade, hand done, hand weighted, hand rooted, had everything. And I donated them. And I went back again about 3 years later, last year, and asked if they would reconsider doing it, and no one called back. So I said, screw you. When I get a big inventory, I'll just keep donating. And how sad of a deal that you show them how to enrich your people's lives and you're too cheap to do it. And that's my story about that. That's when I got into this. And I said, well, if I can't sell my idea, I'll just sell them, and I'll sell them at a price point where people that want them can buy them. When I jumped into this, that's when so much of the controversy was coming up with what was authentic and what wasn't authentic and how much you pay and who has papers and who doesn't have papers. Did not want to get involved in all that nonsense either. Now, for collectors that are putting them on shelves and not interacting with them a lot, I could understand why they would want to spend $5,000, $6,000, $2,000, $5,000 for reborn dolls. They come from artists, they're specialized custom kits, or they're limited editions, or they're whatever they are. And they are going to use them strictly for their display or to resale at a later date. And I get it. I don't run in that crowd. I run in a crowd where people want what they want, but they can't afford it. So I'm giving them an option. I do everything from reboarding manufactured dolls. I call that semi-reboarding because they usually have a base coat of color on them and eyes, but their weighting is terrible. They're not weighted well. They're stiff. They don't move. They don't have any of that motion that most people and reborn artists love to feel like a real baby. They don't move or they don't flop. So I take Those dolls, I usually will reblush them, maybe give them a little bit of mottling, varnish them so they have a nicer skin tone texture to them. Some of them I've reborn and did a whole head of hair on, and I give them a discounted rate. My other ones, I do have a couple authentics that I do, but once again, I had to pay over $100 for the kit. It doesn't pencil for me to sell them for $150. So my babies, when I sell them, my cuddle babies go for $75. My sleeping babies go for $125. I'm lying. My cuddle babies go for $100. It's $25 difference. My cuddle babies go for $100. My sleeping-eyed babies go for $125, and my open-eyed babies go for $150. That's what I sell them for, and they're beautiful, just so you know. Here's a little head of one of them. This little baby, I love her so much. I painted this baby about 3 years ago, before I really knew how to root pretty well, and what I did to her head was terrible, and I couldn't fix it, but I couldn't sell this baby's face because I loved it so much. She is so pretty. So this is my artwork. Here's her eyes. Here's her mouth. Here's her creases. Her eyes are lavender. There's her lashes. I'll painted all them in. Her eyebrows, I painted them in as well. And then I figured I'm going to try rooting this again, even though I won't sell this baby's head, because this hair was my granddaughter's hair. Well, it still is my granddaughter's hair. It's just not on her head anymore. So she has this mane of long, beautiful, thick hair. And she cut off a giant ponytail, and I took it. And this is all her hair. So this baby will never leave me. And I'm just debating right now whether I'm going to put it on a cuddle body or full arms and feet, hands, arms, legs, you know. But I can't get rid of her face, so I love her so much. So this is what has led me down this road of doing shows in marketplaces and things like this, so people are aware of my work. I had a great show last year right before Christmas. I sold 10 babies and I was ecstatic. I do customs. If somebody wants an authentic and buys the kit, I would have no problem, or sends me a deposit to buy the kit they want, I have no problem painting one for them. And otherwise, I pretty much get my dolls from either Irresistibles or Bountiful Baby or Temu or AliExpress. I have found AliExpress and Temu, their quality of work is just great. Sometimes the heads are a little squished, but usually not. They pack them very well. And they look very close to authentics. So you could still get a beautiful baby and pay a fraction of the price for it if you're going to work with me. Or not. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me one way or the other, because I'll keep painting and I'll keep going to my shows and I will love it. But a lot of collectors don't really care to have my dolls because they want authentics. But if they don't, I'm here. Just reach out and contact me and I'll sell you a doll. So this coming week, I will be bringing my babies back out. I will be doing a video of all of them one at a time and let you see who's going to the show with me. And then I'll do a follow-up show afterwards to let you know how the sales went, what sold, what didn't, who's still here, who's not. And that's what I'll do with my Reborns. I'll keep that channel going and probably do Bling and things within that channel. I apologize in advance for people who don't like my content, but my channel, I don't really care if you don't like me. Just scroll along the way and go find somebody that you like better. And that's cool with me, because you can't please everybody all the time, nor would I want to try. So today we are going to be doing a Temu haul, because I came up with yet another idea. So my friend Melody makes beautiful journals. Here's one of her journals. She covers the books and makes the pages. Oh, I did this page. But she does all this staining. She tea stains and coffee stains every one of these pages, and they're just beautiful, beautiful journals. She sells the journals like this at her shows for her crafty, boutique-y stuff. So I started doing my own journal that I'm using, just more of a scrapbooking kind of a thing, because I don't know how to journal quite, what to put in it yet. So I started playing, and I got myself a book. Just a cheap little book, and I started doing, I gotta make sure I'm right side up and not upside down. Am I right side up? Am I right side up? Yes. I started just decorating pages. I have such fun doing this at night. It is so calming to me. Blank, I can't even tell you. So, and with the amount of product you could buy inexpensively, it's a great freaking hobby. You could buy stickers and papers and windowsills and gemstones sticking, and or diamond art, which you could individually glue things together and make beautiful little vignettes of pictures and things, and not journal anything, just have fun decorating pages. And I have found it to be very calming at night when I'm unwinding, just listening to music in my room. I'll sit down and I'll decorate a couple of pages. And I thought to myself, I wonder how many people would just like to do that. Apparently tons of people like to do this. But I'm a little late to the game because I'm 72 years old, just found out about it just a couple of years back. But I didn't get how fun it was just to decorate pages. So I started doing it, and then I came up with a brilliant brainstorm. Once again, brilliant brainstorm. And I got this after I had purchased what I thought was a scrapbook kit. In the scrapbook kit that I got, and I did a reveal for it, I got it through the TikTok shop. And I thought